The mistake that people make is this: they head down into the croc's home and into his territory. These guys are fiercely territorial. Now he's all angry. He's all yours, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. You're a good friend. So watch him pull himself in. The weeks. Yeah, he's keen for that.
好胖哦！
Come on, mate. You come out for it. There we go, guys. Give it up for Hui-Fen. How was that? Yeah, he's an absolute weapon. Now we'll see what happens when Nick goes back into his territory because he's got a full mouth of chicken, but I'm pretty sure he wants that big chook that's running through his water.
Yeah, cheers, Dan. Now you can see how difficult it is for the big fella when he's out on land, but as soon as he hits the water, he becomes completely weightless. And he can swim at the cruising speed of a dolphin over short distances. So that's around 28 kilometres an hour. He's absolute dynamite. Now you've seen him strike from the edge of the water, but there is another place where crocs will catch a bite to eat. Now that's an area that's overhanging the water. Now see what he's doing at the moment. He has to lift his head up and out of the water. He's got a backwards facing tongue called a palatal valve, and it forms a seal at the back of his throat. So when he's catching food and he's under the water, he doesn't drown himself, but he does need to lift his head up to be able to grab a bite to eat. Now I'm going to hand it over to Dan, but ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out that Dan here, give it up, he's about to be on the next Bachelor. Give it up for Dan, ladies. What do you reckon? Hey?
That's not true, mate.
We call him Hollywood. He's probably one of the best looking blokes at the zoo. But I don't know, man, is it still cool if you live at home with your mum when you're in your 30s? I don't know. But ladies, if you're interested, he's not taken yet. Come and say good day to Dan. Call him Hollywood. So mate, up to you now. I'll leave it over.
Clearly haven't talked to your sister in a while. He's the boss too, so that's going to cost me. Anyway, back to crocodiles. Like we showed you before, that strike at the water's edge, and that's usually one of the ways that the big fellas will hunt. But another way that crocs love to hunt is what we call the tail walk. Now, they'll tail walk when they hatch out of the egg about 15 centimetres long, and they'll be taking out insects and frogs and small lizards, because for a baby crocodile, he can't launch out the side of a river bank. It's just not big enough. And they'll tail walk to weaver size and even bigger. Get your cameras ready, watch that tail.
Ooh.
There we go, give it up for him, guys. How was that? And at weaver size, they'll be taking down fruit bats, flying foxes, possums, even silly zookeepers that hang too far over. Now he can get his head up and over this top bar, so we'll see if we can get him to do it. And there we go again, guys. Isn't he awesome? So let that be a lesson for you. If you're up in crocodile territory, always be wary of that tail walking crocodile.
So croc territory isn't here on the Sunshine Coast. It begins up in North Queensland, continues over the top of Australia and finishes near Broome in Western Australia. The warmer waters where the crocs like to reside.
Righto guys, now Weaver is our newest crocodile here in the Crocoseum, so he's still working this all out, and he is a really cunning and clever crocodile. It's awesome to see him out here. He's a little bit scary, I've got to be honest. So we're going to see if we can get him out for one last feed and put to rest a myth. People will tell you that crocodiles can run as fast as a horse on land. Now if that's the case, Dan's in a bit of strife because I think I'm a bit quicker than him. But we'll see how we go. Sometimes Weaver's a little hesitant to come out for this last feed.
Just get closer, mate.
There we go now. That's his strike range right there. But just here, this is flat out for Weaver on hard solid ground. Yes, kicking in the face, that's awesome. He'd be absolutely gorgeous. Now just to put my money where my mouth is, I can sit down in front of Weaver, lie down. Not for too long, but he knows that I can get up and get out of the way quicker than he can come forward, and he's making no attempt at all to chase me down, and that's because he knows that out here on land he does not have the advantage. But in the water, let's see what happens if I get further away from him. But in his home, straight away he starts to get a little more interested because here he has the advantage. So that makes them probably one of the easiest animals at the top of the food chain to avoid. All you have to do is follow those few simple rules that you see Dan and I following. That's staying back from the edge of the water. As Dan showed us, we don't overhang the water, but please, whatever you do when you're up in crop territory, do not enter the water. If you follow those few simple rules, you will never have a problem. Now these amazing animals, as I've said, have been around for at least 240 million